Hello, movie fans. Today, I will explain a Thai 2011 crime, drama, thriller film called Headshot. Let's jump to the explanation. A bullet to the brain of a cop turned hitman flips his vision, making him perceive the world as being upside down. In the opening scene of the movie, we see a man typing a letter on a typewriter. Then he sent a letter with a picture of a person to the post office. Now we see the movie's main character, a young boy, whose name is Tool, who has long hair, received the letter in the locker. Then he started the bike, and he went home. He gave some food to the fish in the aquarium, and he opened the letter. He cut the pic and saw the information. He cut his hair. He became a saint. We see he is going to that victim's house, where the man first takes a contract man's photos. He shoots him and also shoots his bodyguards. When he leaves, suddenly, we see a bodyguard also shoot him. He fell down, and a lot of blood surrounded him. His teammate shoots that bodyguard who shoots his friend. In the next part, Tool wakes up in a hospital. His friend comes there and helps him out with the oxygen pipe. His friend called the doctor. The doctor checked him. He cannot see his hand clearly. After the scene started, 7 years and 5 months ago, he saw a paper which was Gene Pool Parasites and Justice by Demon. In the evening, he goes on his mission, and he shoots one of them and tells the others to do their hands up. On one of their sides, a man takes videos on camera to get the situation. The cameraman was shot by an enemy. Suddenly, the lights are off, and Tool goes in the enemy direction very slowly. He caught him and arrested him. When Tool saw his teammate die, he hit that enemy. The next morning, we see a man who offers Tool money to release his client, who was arrested yesterday. In the next part, we see Tool was practicing for his skill development and prepared himself. Again, he started exercising. Then, he hid the gun under the chair. He came out of the room and saw a girl's key was dropped in the road. The girl's name is Joy. He calls her and says her keys are dropped. Joy looked up very sexy at Tool. Then she offered Tool a drink. At that, they go to Tool's house, and we see they are intimate. Suddenly, Tool turns on his bedroom light and cannot see Joy. He searched for her and found her dead body on the bathroom top. Suddenly, a telephone rang. He erases all his fingerprints in that room and also leaves the hotel. When he reaches home, we see he is very tired, and his friend is feeding the aquarium fish. Tool checked his money bag and saw his wife's photos. The next morning, he opened the door and got the newspaper. When he wanted to read the newspaper, suddenly a paper box fell out of the newspaper. He opened it and saw Joy and his intimate photos and also Joy's murder photos. In the evening of that day, a guy comes to his house, and Tool pushes that guy's neck and says to him, "Is that he doing it?" The guy declares that there is insufficient evidence to support the case. Only the statement needs to be read. Nothing or an interview is required of him. At the press conference, he must apologize to the minister's younger brother. Then Tool smacked that guy and hit a lot of him with a chair. In the next scene, we see that when Tool's in jail, he wrote many letters to the demon. But he didn't send one of them. He spent nearly 2 months in jail. At last, he sends a letter to the demon. The narrator pays $50,000 to sleep with the narrator and wait until they fall asleep. They spike their drink, and 2 friends, who claim to be friends, pull a joke on them before they get married. They are heroin smugglers and cop killers, and the narrator helps them escape. Now, a girl comes to jail and meets him and says she doesn't want to know what happened. Just going about her own business, she was. If nothing else, he survived. She would have terrible self-confidence if he had. Suddenly, a visitor came to Tool for a meeting. The visitor told him that he was the demon. He had received his letter a day before. When he was incarcerated, he was known as Dr. Sruong. The visitor gives him an assignment. The assignment target for Art Dachawat. Art Dachawat, 54, is the owner of a slaughterhouse and has multiple businesses, including illegal liquor, human trafficking, and supplying girls to politicians. He has been accused of contracting 3 murders but has been cleared due to his influence within major political parties. Now we see Tool receive the letter and his friend read it loudly. Then he cut the target man's picture. He goes to the targeted man's house with his teammate. In the next part, we see Tool search every corner of the house and shoot the targeted man. He again shoots him because of his death. His team member also shoots another woman. When he was in the house, we see he cut the newspaper where the murder topic was available there. He put that paper in a shoebox. Now we see he meets the demon again on a lakeside. Here, his friend is on a basketball field and tells him that 4 years, 6 months ago, he was released. Then, what he needed to him. Tool replied to him that he needed to go with him to any place where he wanted to. In the next part, the heavy-wearing man was released today.
He saw the girl was waiting for him. Then he gets in the car and goes with her to her house. He sees many paintings in her room. He deeply thinks to understand the painting. Suddenly, the girl came there and offered him what he wanted, like drinking tea. He tells her that he just wants to call her Tiwa. But the lady did not like the foreign names. Now, they are spending romantic moments. The girl offered him to marry her, but he was confused and told her that he was not a good guy.
After that, we see Tool receives a phone call. But suddenly, he was attacked by the enemy. He was hiding beside the sofa. He takes his gun under the chair and shoots one enemy. He wanted to leave the place, but they got him, and take him into their place. The leader of the gangster came there. The leader of a gangster talks about what he had done in her past. 2 enemies take off Tool's pants. The leader takes a candle and pain relief by melting wax in Tool's main part. Then, he directly put a candle on his main part. Then they upside down his leg on a rope. 2 gangsters are playing chess. Suddenly, he cut the rope and ran away from them. He gets in a white car driven by a lady known as Tin. He was injured and wanted to eat some food. So, he searches the lady's car and found a chip, and he ate it. The lady asks him if he wants to go anywhere. Tell her. Tool asks to go with her to Chumpon. They are going to the pump station shop. In this shop, a man wants to rape a lady worker. But Tool came there and told them to stop. But the bad boys are getting ready to fight. Suddenly, the lights off, and the lady driver is confused and goes into what's going on there. The lady driver goes to the lady worker and says that there exists a power outage.
She replied that her boyfriend said that was why she did it. The lady driver sees Tool beat the bad boys very well. Tool clears his blood on a towel. At the riverside, Tool gets up in the morning and sees the lady smoking in the riverside. Tin tells him he is a crook. Tool asks her how it is possible to guess. Tin tells him there are 2 types of people carrying guns, like police and crook. Tool follows 2 monks and reaches a temple place.
After that, we see again the typewriter typing something. And Joy's photo that he is looking at.
When Tool opened the temple room's window, a monk tells him to drop his gun on the pot because it is a holy place. Then, they pray in front of the temple. In the evening, Tool thinks that he is jealous of Tiwa, who left him and is grateful for her freedom. However, he is concerned about Tiwa's drug use, which he never knew she was on. The police immediately concluded it was an OD, and the officer in charge of the case told him that hookers on drugs are quite common.
Now, we see Tool become a monk, taking food from the local area. In the evening, he was attacked by his enemy, and he ran to the monk with his own gun and again ran away. Again, he stopped Tin's car and got in her car. Now, Tin's car was damaged. They go in the forest direction, but suddenly, the enemy attacks them. Tin was so afraid. Tool shoots one enemy, who was hiding on his backside. One enemy caught Tin, but Tool shoots him in front of Tin. After fighting, he saw that one of the attackers was his friend, but he killed him. He cried a lot. The next morning, Tool repairs Tin's car, and he graves his friend's dead body in there. When Tool reached the hospital, suddenly, the leader gangster and his teammates surrounded Tool and his mate. Suddenly, Tool attacked them and shot some gangsters. The doctor has been taken shot also. Tools ran away from the place. Again, we see Tin also come to that place. Tin tell Tool to get in her car. Now, Tin gave every information about Tool's lover Tiwa. Tool went to the doctor's house and killed the demon, but didn't kill. He asks him, "Doctor, did you murder Tiwa in order for him to join your team?" He lived his life like a prisoner once more. This time, he wasn't able to remember for how many years. He wasn't bored or disturbed by the dull jail existence. In fact, it even helped me become calm, reasonable, and unwavering. In the next scene, we see our hero, Tool, dying by the side of the forest. and he thinks that time was his freedom, and he lost everything because of it. The beautiful movie ends here. For the obvious reasons of the language barrier and often poor production quality, I occasionally find it difficult to get into foreign films. Headshot, a thriller by Penek Radinaruam, is an unusual exception. Overall, I thought this movie to be easy enough to understand and interesting enough to keep me captivated by the screen, despite the fact that, at times, the photography was too dark to see clearly what was going on. If you liked this, please subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.